Good morning, everyone. Today is January 12th, and I'm going to be using market profiles to kind of break down what happened with the Apple stock and some the other Magnificent Seven stocks to objectively look at, what price action and market participants are saying. If you have are in a trade, this is an objective way to maybe reassess your trading plan. So first off, it's not financial advice, just for entertainment purposes only. I'm just going to jump right into the Apple stock here. As you guys can see, no buying tails or selling tails. There's also no range extension beyond the initial balance here. The rotation factor I calculated as a 0. So I'll just kind of show it to you guys. It's a 0. Each time frame either has the same low or same high, and that makes it a 0. And then for directional convictional analysis, the volume, it happened on below average volume, and value area placement, overlap to the upside. So this is value area for Thursday and Friday, so you can see it overlaps to the upside. So putting it all together, in conclusion, on below average volume, stock attempted to go nowhere, but resulted in value that overlapped to the upside. So the other key thing is that the Apple stock has been on a downtrend. As you guys can see, it has been on a downtrend since like December. And now finally, it's trading in below average volume. And the value area is slightly overlapping to the upside, I'm going to say that, this may suggest that, we could be at a seller exhaustion. This is a slight bullish bias, but for confirmation, what I'm looking for is a failed auction test lower. So sellers trying to go lower, trying to bring it down lower, and then there's basically no more sellers and buyers enter. That is when you have that failed auction test, and then you could potentially go long. But shorting here does not make sense to me. All right. Next stop, I have Netflix. Just looking at the market profile, there's no selling tails, no buying tails. For it to be a tail, you need 2 single line TPO prints. Outside of the initial balance, there's no range extension to either direction. And the rotation factor I calculated as is -1. So if you look at the B block, it has a lower low and a lower high, that is a -1. Everything else, each other time frame either has the same high or same low, making a 0. So the attempted direction for Netflix on Friday was down. For directional convictional analysis, for volume, it was happening on above average volume, and the value area placement, so as you guys can see, this area is the value area, whereas, these two areas are the value area for Thursday. So it overlapped to the downside. So putting it all together for Netflix, on above average volume, stock attempted to go lower, but resulted in value that overlapped to the downside. Suggests downside may persist. Okay, it doesn't seem to suggest, trading on Friday. This does not 100% say that, sellers are completely exhausted. Next stop I have here is, we already did NVIDIA. Next stop I have here is NVIDIA. So just looking at the NVIDIA stock, there's no buying tail or selling tail. However, you do have range extension in the J block. The rotation factor, I did calculate it as a 0. So I'll just quickly show it to you guys. Each time frame, it either has the same high or same low, okay, as the previous time frame. The volume, the trading that happened on Friday was low volume, and the value area placement is pretty much the same here. So piecing it all together, on low volume, stock attempted to go nowhere, but resulted in value that was the same. This suggests that stock may be in balance, and so we need more information to determine which way the stock will move. So I would just look for more data. The next stop is Microsoft. Sorry about that. So right here, So for Microsoft, as you guys can see, there's no tails, buying tails or selling tails. However, there's range extension in the E block. Okay. The rotation factor I did calculate as a +1, and basically it's the D block and E block. So E block has a higher high and a lower high. That is a +1. Everything else is 0. This happened on low volume. And the value area placement, as you guys can see, it overlaps lower. So putting it all together, on low volume, stock tended to go up, but resulted in value that overlaps lower. This is a weak bias. Sorry, this is a weak bearish bias. It could be seller exhaustion. So shorting here does not make sense. Just going to correct my typo here. Right here. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So stock attempted to go up, but resulted in value that overlaps lower. So it's a weak bearish bias. Could be seller exhaustion. And shorting here does not make sense to me. Next stop I have here is Amazon. Now with Amazon, just looking at the market profile, there's no buying tails or selling tails. There is range extension to the upside in blocks D and blocks K. The rotation factor I did calculate as a +1, and that is the C block to D block. That is the +1 there. Okay. The trading on Friday happened on slightly below volume, and the value area placement, it overlaps to the upside here. Okay. So just kind of putting things together for Amazon, on slightly below average volume, stock attempted to go higher and resulted in value that overlaps higher. So below average volume suggests buyers may be drying up as market tries to auction higher value. What I'm looking for is that, buyers may continue to test upside, although they are getting weaker. So, I don't see buyer exhaustion yet. So I would say that, shorting here still does not make sense to me. Sorry, just going to correct that here. What I just kind of recorrected was that, what you can also look for is buyer auction failure. So buyers try to push prices higher and then brings in no more buyers, leaving a tail, which is an indicative sign that, sellers may enter. But for the time being, I think upside may persist, although it's slowing and getting weaker. Next stop I have here is Google. So for Google, the attempted direction I said was up. Just looking at the profile, there's no buying tails or selling tails here. And also there's no range extension to the upside or to the downside. The rotation factor I did calculate as +1. So, and that is where did I get that? A block, and that's the B block to C block. So see, that is a +1 there. Everything else is the same. Okay. For directional convictional analysis, the volume, it happened on below average volume, and the value area placement, as you guys can see, that it overlaps higher. Okay, it overlaps higher. So kind of putting it all together for Google, on below average volume, stock attempted to go higher, but resulted in value that overlapped higher. The volume being low, so because it's below average volume, suggests that while market participants are auctioning higher value, it could mean that buyers are drying up. So, there's a chance that, the upside may persist. However, it's slowing and weakening. And what you should be looking for is buying auction failure. I would just still be careful here. I still would not short here for sure because the data is suggesting buyers may continue to push tests higher, although they are getting weaker. It's getting close. Next up is the Meta stock. And just looking at the profile, no buying tails, no selling tails, range extension in the D block to the upside. And I did say the rotation factor of 0. Each time frame is the same as before. The trading was below average volume, and the value area placement, I did say was higher. This is the value area here, whereas this is the value area. So I would say slightly higher or maybe overlapping higher. Putting it all together for Meta, on below average volume, stock attempted to go nowhere, but resulted in value that was higher. So it suggests a weak bullish bias. Shorting here does not make sense. Waiting for buyers to step in. And then the last stop is Tesla. So just looking at the profile, you have a buying tail at the bottom here. And then you also have range extension in blocks E and G, so 2 different time frames. Rotation factor, I did calculate as +1, and that is the A block to B block. That's a +1 right there, okay? So attempted direction for Tesla is up. For directional convictional analysis, the volume is happened on below average volume. And the value area, I did say that it was higher, okay? So for Tesla, putting it on together, on below average volume, stock attempted to move up. Stock attempted to move up and resulted in value that was higher. Suggests that buyers may continue to test higher prices. However, they are weakening as volume is slightly below average. Shorting here still does not make sense. And that kind of sums up my Magnificent 7. I hope you guys find this useful. If you have any suggestions, please put it in the comment section below. And, have a great week trading and good luck today, guys. Thank you so much for your time.